NBA height, so let's get right into it. 5'9" is currently the shortest height in the NBA, and that belongs to Isaiah Thomas. Thomas has averaged numbers in his career of 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. But even so, he's been discriminated against because of his height. He was picked 60th in the 2011 NBA draft, probably because he is only at the height of 5'9", and some measure him at 5'8". But we'll measure him at 5'9" for this video, just for his sanity. He's great at creating his own shot and is honestly one of the best players under 6 feet tall we have ever seen. I mean, his only competition really that I can think of as a player who is just as good under 6 foot tall would be somebody like Ty Lawson. He's literally this good. Isaiah Thomas is the best player under 6 foot in my opinion. At the height of 5'10", we have somebody who's not necessarily a star all around, but is a star in one category, and this is Facundo Campazzo. The reason Facundo Campazzo is on this list is because he's one of 4 players to be 5'10" in the NBA, but the other reason is because he drops some wild passes, and the NBA even made a compilation of top 10 passes by Facundo Campazzo. He's a foreign player from Argentina, and he can really get it done on the offensive end of the ball. I mean, he struggles on defense because of his height and is not the most efficient player, but it's nice when you see him drop a crazy pass. I mean, it feels like he's dropping a dime every single game. And he's literally the Denver Nuggets gem, in my opinion. 5'11" is definitely the worst height in this video because there are only 3 players in the NBA at this height, and we picked Chris Chiosa for this video. Chiosa is putting up stats of 2 points and 1 assist this season, which really isn't that exciting, but when I looked up 5'11" NBA players, there really wasn't anybody who I saw that wasn't a two-way player or in the G League. He did have a game versus the Raptors this season where he put up 11 points and 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3 in 20 minutes of action. But he's just not the most productive player in the NBA, especially because he's a bench warmer. And like I said earlier, 5'11" is definitely the worst height in this video, but 6 foot is going to get better in a second. At 6 foot, we have a player that's been cursed of a championship for so long, and that is Chris Paul. I could have ranked Kyle Lowry ahead of him, and even though he's averaging better numbers than Paul points-wise, Paul is just averaging some crazy numbers all around the board. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, 47% from the field, and 2 steals per game. See, a very efficient player, even though not at the level he was 5 or 6 years ago. But because Chris Paul is an absolute all-time great, we can sometimes see him on the occasion drop a game where he has like 30 points. So you just got to watch out with Chris Paul. He can get hot at really any moment. And once he gets hot, it's hard to stop him, especially on the defensive end. So I suggest to NBA rookies that you don't mess with Chris Paul. The next players I'm going to be talking about are at 6'1", and we have a tie here between Donovan Mitchell and Trey Young. Look, it was way too hard to decide who was better, especially because these guys average about the same stat line. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists per contest. And Trey Young is also having himself quite a season, putting up 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists per game on 45% from the field. I mean, the only stat that really separates them is assists. Young is the better stats pattern than Mitchell, but Mitchell is the better efficiency player. They're both extremely young, flashy point guards who can do it all on the basketball court and have unlimited range each. They're both having 2 of the best seasons of their career, and they're extremely fun to watch. At 6'2", we have Damien Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers. Now, he's not been having his greatest season in the NBA this year, only putting up 24 points, which is his worst season since 2014 to 15. But there really aren't a lot of great players on 6'2". I mean, Damian Lillard is ranked first on NBA 2K, and the next player is Kyrie Irving, who's only played 1 game in this season for the Brooklyn Nets. So, I mean, I just had to go with Damian Lillard. He's averaging 24 points a game, which is pretty good for the NBA, along with putting up 4 rebounds and 7 assists per game. Although he's only played 29 games this year out of the 38 the Portland Trailblazers have played and has kind of been injured a lot, he is still one of the best players in the NBA. Especially at the point guard position, he's probably the 5th best point guard in the NBA at this point. 6'3" is where some of the best point guards in the NBA stand, and we have to give this one to Stephen Curry. Curry is having himself yet another phenomenal MVP caliber season. He's not been playing the best since Thanksgiving, but he's still putting up great stats. Averages of 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists seem pretty good to me, especially because Steph Curry's efficiency from 3 is great this year, like it always is. He's averaging 38% from 3, which is not his best 3-point percentage in his career, but he tops it all off with averaging 42% from the field, which is okay, but Curry takes a lot of shots, so it's okay for him to not have the greatest efficiency in the NBA, especially because he has so much load to carry on him, with him being the only real superstar in Golden State. So I had to give 6'3" to Stephen Curry. 6'4" was honestly one of the hardest to choose in this video, being one of the weakest, and there were guys like DeJounte Murray, but I had to pick D'Angelo Russell for this one over guys like DeJounte Murray and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was injured, so I had to look at Russell and DeJounte Murray's stat lines, and Russell is averaging 0.6 more points a game than Murray, averaging 18.6 points, while Murray is only averaging 18. And his stats in the category of defense and rebounding are better too. Although, shout out to DeJounte Murray. He's averaging 9 assists per game. He was a very, very close second and is leading the San Antonio Spurs to a lot of success this season. But this one had to go to D'Angelo Russell, and because, he has ice in his veins, and he's one of the clutchest players in the league right now. 6'5" was another one that was extremely hard to choose, and it came down to Devin Booker and James Harden, but in the end I had to put Devin Booker. He's leading his team to a lot more success with a better record, and is not more he's not as much of a ball-dominant player, and he doesn't need the ball to help his team win. He can play basketball at really any level, and he's also really efficient. I mean, he's only averaging 23 points per game this season, which is not as good as some of his other seasons in the NBA, but in his other seasons, he was one of the only guys in Phoenix, and now he has a great supporting cast around him to help him win. So that's why he's not averaging as many points. And if I was being honest, like I am, Booker is a better player than Harden, especially because Booker is way, way more efficient than Harden, and Harden's been missing shots all year. 6'6" had to go to MVP candidate Demar Derozan, who, of course, you have heard the storyline now, just hit 2 game-winning buzzer beaters in a row. DeRozan is having the best season of his career, putting up 26 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 49% from the field, 35% from 3 and 85% from the free throw line. He's also really efficient on defense, putting up 1 steal a game and 0.3 blocks a game. But the thing that put him over the edge here over guys like Zion Williamson was his 2 game winners in a row at the buzzer beater. Keep in mind, no player has ever done that 2 nights in a row in NBA history, and because Demar Derozan just made NBA history, I felt like it would be great for me to list him at the 6'6" spot in this video. 6'7" was between Kawhi Leonard and Luka Doncic, but it's really no question right now, it's Luka Doncic. Sure, Kawhi Leonard beat Luka in the playoffs last year, but Luka is averaging way better stats this season. 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game for Luka, and 0.0 rebounds and 0 assists for Kawhi Leonard. And that's because I should mention that Kawhi Leonard is out for the season with an ACL tear, which makes it only fair for me to list Luka at 6'7". But I would list Luka even if Kawhi Leonard was playing, because Luka is the unicorn of the point guard position and can really do it all on the basketball court. He's a 3-point sniper, and he'll put you on a blender at any moment given. In my opinion, should be second in the NBA MVP vote this year, but that's up to Adam Silver and the rest of the voters. 6'8" was more of an easy one to decide, and this is Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. He's averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists a game. And I should mention, he's doing this in 35 minutes of action, when most players his talent level would be doing that in 38 or 39 minutes of action. Tatum is an interesting player. He has the height of a forward or center, but plays like a guard or forward. He's really one of the most versatile players in the NBA, and in my opinion, he can really play every position. So Jason Tatum is having one of the best seasons of his career. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Hyper Hooper, where's LeBron James? Well, LeBron James is not listed at 6'8" anymore. He has been listed at 6'9" this season. So for 6'9", LeBron James is there. We've expected LeBron to have a decline for a while now, but that has not been happening because at the age of 37 years old, LeBron is averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists on 52% shooting from the field, which is something we have never really experienced before. A guy who is over the age of 35 putting up nearly 30 points a game. LeBron doesn't show any signs of a decline